All right, let's talk about food cravings and busting the food craving myth. So, fact or fiction? You crave certain foods because you're deficient in one of the nutrients they provide. Fiction. This kind of blew me away when I learned this, when I started researching this stuff. Current research suggests that hunger doesn't play a prominent role in where cravings come from. Most cravings revolve around the pleasurable aspects of dining. So it's more of an emotional response. We're going to talk about this some more. Now, there are a few exceptions to this. So if you're having cravings for meat, ice, or dirt even, that can indicate iron deficiencies. And if you're having cravings for really anything that seems, abnormal, or cravings that strike you at odd times, that can be a sign of dehydration. Dehydration can mask itself as hunger. Cravings for salt can also indicate dehydration. And also, I want to mention that a lack of sleep can cause various cravings. So if you're not getting that 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night, you can be seeing some of those cravings creeping in. So it's all a state of mind. Fatty, sugary foods release chemicals called opioids into our bloodstream. We talked about sugar our body reacting to sugar the same way it does to heroin. So, there's obviously a response in our bodies. The opioids bind to receptors in our brains and give us feelings of pleasure and even mild euphoria. Now, I'm going to get a little technical here, just because I think it's cool. Food cravings trigger the hippocampus, the insula, and the caudate. And I know I'm probably pronouncing those wrong, but I'm just going to go with it. So the hippocampus filters sensory data and puts it in short-term or long-term memory. So this is where you develop an emotional connection with your food. The insula helps control your social emotions by interpreting your physical state. And the caudate nucleus helps control the dopamine reward system. So dopamine is a feel-good hormone that your body releases when it's feeling good or wants to feel good. And so food cravings trigger this dopamine response. So as you can see, sensory memories reinforce cravings. So, craving some facts. Cravings occur more frequently for women than for men. So 100% versus 70% of women versus men polled said that they experience cravings. And this is a really interesting tidbit. So food cravings and the desire for high-calorie nutrition are acquired in the womb. Kind of wild to think about. I know some of us are, we're all daughters. Some of us are mothers as well. And it's kind of interesting to think about that. So, tips for dealing with cravings. Take a multivitamin and eat a balanced diet. If your craving is the result of a deficiency, this should help to alleviate the problem. I will also say that, if you're taking Shakeology, that it does provide everything that a multivitamin provides. That's one of the reasons that a lot of people say that their cravings go away, I think, is because they're actually getting all of those vitamins and minerals that you would get in a multivitamin. Stop distracted eating, so eating mindfully. Thinking about your goals. If you have goals about how you want to feel or how you want to look, remembering your why. So why you want to feel that way, and what are your goals, and how can you stay true to those goals. Identifying your triggers. So be mindful. Listen to the messages your body is sending you. If you have a really stressful meeting on Wednesday morning and every Tuesday night you're craving ice cream, maybe that's a trigger for you. Journal or document when cravings occur. Surround yourself with healthy options. So think about not just replacing bad foods, but just crowding them out in your pantry and in your life. If you have to leave the house, you're less likely to feed the craving. Avoid expansive foods. So these are foods that leave you craving more. So sugar, caffeine, alcohol, drugs, and processed foods feed cravings, leaving you wanting more. This is a really huge one, this next one. Food is not a reward. So I know for a lot of us how we were raised, you maybe if you were well behaved, you got your dessert, or you'd go out for ice cream after a big sporting event or something like that. But that's really sending the wrong message. Food should be used solely to provide nutrition and fuel your body. Using it as a reward sends the wrong message. So it starts to, it just reinforces an emotional connection. When you think about winning a big game and then you start to think about ice cream. Instead of thinking about, something much more positive, like, how that win made you feel. Did it make you feel successful or strong, or, something like that. So, back to the list. No food is off limits. So saying you can't have something typically makes you want it more. And I actually heard a tip from a fellow coach who said, I tell my clients not to say they can't have something. If there is something that, say, for dietary reasons you can't eat, you have an aversion to, stop saying I can't have it and just say I don't have that. It puts it in a little bit of a different perspective. But otherwise, don't put those restrictions on yourself if they're not, kind of endangering your health and well-being. If you do have a craving, drink a glass of water and eat a handful of unsalted nuts. So one of the things that I have learned is that nuts can be really powerful from a health perspective. And this is really neat. They actually have found that this technique of drinking water and eating some nuts is thought to change your body chemistry. Get 8 hours of sleep consistently. So I mentioned it earlier that sleep can cause, or lack of sleep can cause cravings. Breathing. If stress is causing your craving, relaxing and breathing through the issue can help to alleviate it. And you can find some great breathing techniques online if you just go to YouTube and Google breathing techniques. I also have a video that I put out a little while ago. If you want to see it, I can definitely send it to you. And lastly, indulge once in a while. So you don't have to be super restrictive. That never works for anyone. So treat yourself every once in a while as part of a healthy lifestyle that you are creating for yourself. And that is it on cravings.